Should I begin now? Work hard in silence. Let your success be your noise, said Frank Ocean, American singer and songwriter. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. A happy afternoon to one and all. We are gathered here to witness the annual prize distribution ceremony of Standard 10 students of the 2020-2021 batch, a batch that worked virtually an entire academic year amidst a pandemic and great ambiguity, yet managed to achieve accolades in scholastic and co-scholastic areas. So yes, let's make some noise and celebrate their success. Let us begin the program with a prayer, Saraswati Vandanam. Over to Mrs. Kokila for the recording of the prayer.
Saraswati dayai nidhi nigati tannarul tandarulvai Bharati Saraswati Karamalar midir manimalayum veenayum karonai பொழியும் கடை கண்ணழகும் வளர் சரஸ்வதி நின்னருளொளி இல்லையானால் மன இருள் நீங்குமோ சகல கலை மாத்தே அன்னவாகினி வெண்கமல மலர் வளரும் வாணி வெள்ளை கலயனி புராணி சரஸ்வதி.
That was indeed sincere and melodious. The prayer was sung by UN Shriya of Standard 10. This ceremony
So Sushmita, you're muted. Sorry.
Sorry about that. I didn't realize it. So I was saying that the prayer song was rendered by UN Shriya of Standard 10. Thank you, Shriya. This ceremony is possible and happening due to the foresight, vision, and passion of our founder, Dr. Mrs. Rajalakshmi Parthasarathi. Let us now pay our obeisance to her through Vidya Vandanam, Kalvi Thai Varthu, a song penned and rendered in her memory by the alumni and current students of PSBB group of schools. Kalvi Thai Varthu.
எதிர்காலத்தை பொற்காலமாய் எமக்களித்த குருவே, உமக்கு பல்லாண்டிசைத்து பாமாலை சூட்டி வணங்குகிறோம், எம்மை அர்ப்பணிக்கின்றோம்.
குலம் விளங்க கல்விக்கு வித்திட கலங்கரை விளக்கே நம்பிக்கை ஒளியே குலம் விளங்க கல்விக்கு வித்திட கலங்கரை விளக்கே நம்பிக்கை ஒளியே
கற்பகத்தருவாய் கலைகளை வளர்த்த கலைமகளே நல்மகளே
சிந்தனையில் புரட்சி சுதந்திரம் பாரதிய பண்பாடு புகட்டிய புதுமை பெண்ணே
புதுமை பெண்ணே
அறிவு களஞ்சியம் ஆற்றலின் இருப்பிடம் உறுதியின் உறைவிடம் வெற்றியின் உருவகம்
அறிவு களஞ்சியம் ஆற்றலின் இருப்பிடம் உறுதியின் உறைவிடம் வெற்றியின் உருவகம்
வெற்றியின் உருவகம் ராஜலக்ஷ்மியின் திருமதி வைஜிபி ராஜலக்ஷ்மியின் திருமதி வைஜிபி
பத்மஸ்ரீ விருது பெற்ற மங்கையரில் மாணிக்யம்
மூவெழுத்து வேதம் உன் தாரக மந்திரம்
யதிராஜனருள் நிறைந்த ஆசிரிய பொக்கிஷம்
கல்வி கலைஞர் பணி நிலையாய் தொடர்ந்திட கருணை புரிவாய் ஆசிகள் அருள்வாய்
சிந்தனையில் புரட்சி சுதந்திரம் பாரதிய பண்பாடு புகட்டிய புதுமை பெண்ணே
புதுமை பெண்ணே ஆயிரம் ஆயிரம்
ஆயிரம் ஆயிரம்
பத்மங்கள் மலர்
மலர்
அன்புடன் கோலமிட்ட வித்யாரத்னமே வித்யாரத்னமே
That was Kalvitai Varthu, mesmerizing and enthralling every time. Average leaders raise the bar on themselves. Good leaders raise the bar for others. Great leaders inspire others to raise their own bars. I fondly request our principal, Mrs. S. Vasanti, who constantly inspires us, to welcome the gathering. Mrs. Vasanti?
Yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Sushmita. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. With the blessings of our revered Guru and founder, Dr. Mrs. Y.G. Parthasarathy, I take great pleasure in welcoming you all to the annual prize distribution function for students of Standard 10, 2020-21. An academic year which threw up several challenges and yet taught us several lessons, perseverance and resilience above all. Today, let us celebrate not only the academic excellence of our students, but also salute the spirit with which they handled the challenges thrown at them from all directions. Hats off to each and every student of this batch. It is my pleasant duty to welcome our esteemed chief guest, Mr. G.K. Suresh, Director, Consulting and Executive Programs, PAS University. We are greatly honored to have you with us, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see a shadow, said Helen Keller. A sincere thanks to Mrs. Sheila Rajendra, our Dean and Director and Correspondent, and Mr. Y.J. Rajendra, Executive Trustee, PSBB Group of Schools, for being our sunshine and showing us the way with positivity and enthusiasm. It is my proud privilege to welcome you both to today's virtual gathering. The award function at Nungambakam is a grand and much awaited one, thanks to the benevolence of our donors, who out of their love for our school have instituted handsome awards and prizes, not only for academic excellence, but for talents in various fields. A warm welcome to each one of you. A cordial welcome to all the special invitees, our trustees, members of the PTA, and the heads of PSBB Group of Schools. ஈன்ற பொழுதின் பெரிதுவக்கும் தன்மகனை சான்றோன் என கேட்ட தாய். There can be no greater joy or happiness for a mother or father than seeing one's child being celebrated by scholars. Today is one such occasion, and I extend a warm welcome to the proud parents and the prize winners for their consistent excellence in academics and co-curricular activities. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with a great teacher, is a Japanese proverb. A warm welcome to the team of dedicated and creative teachers of PSBB Nungambakam. And my dear students of Standard 10 and 11, a very warm and loving affectionate to each one of you. As Swami Vivekananda said, all power is within you. You can do anything and everything. And to recall the lines which appears in your English textbook, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. A hearty welcome once again to everyone to today's function to celebrate the spirit of youth.
Thank you, Mrs. Vasanthi, for your warm words of welcome. Who better than a school topper himself to appreciate our young achievers today? Let me say no more and call upon Mrs. Lata Saravanan, our chemistry teacher, to introduce the chief guest for the day, Shri G.K. Suresh.
Thank you, Mrs. Sushmita. Great achievers are the ones who merrily keep jumping from one target to another. They have fun, they accept challenges, they motivate others, they fight, they rock, said Gaurav Agarwal. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha and good afternoon to everyone. It gives me immense pleasure and it's my privilege to introduce our chief guest for today's annual prize distribution function. We are honored this afternoon by the presence of distinguished chief guest Sri G.K. Suresh, who is currently the Director of Consulting and Executive Program in PES University. Mr. G.K. Suresh received BE Honours degree in Electrical and Electronics from BITS Pilani and MBA from FMS Delhi. GK has 26 years of work experience spanning corporate and academia, primarily in marketing, sales, strategy, and business leadership. Mr. Suresh was part of the startup team that developed and launched the personal care business. He was in a leadership role for over 6 years as vice president in marketing, headed new category development, spearheading the launches of Pebble chocolates and Sunbeam coffee. In 2017, GK switched careers to academia to give back to society and to inspire students through teaching. First at KCT Business School and now at PES University. He is a regular visiting faculty at IIM Bangalore, having handled courses on international business, customer experience, luxury management, and marketing strategy. Mr. Suresh has given his expert advice and is a consultant for many companies. To name a few, Jackson Group, Kana Paper Mills, ITC Limited, ASK Automotive, Shakti Finance, and many more. Above all, he is a proud alumnus of PSBB Nungambakam, who was a school topper in class 10 in the year 1985-86. He is an ace debater and an avid twister. He is the son of a former principal, Mrs. Bhagyalakshmi Kailasi. I once again extend a warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Over to Mrs. Sushmita.
Thank you, Mrs. Lata. May I now request our esteemed chief guest, Shri G.K. Suresh, to share his thoughts with the gathering. Sir?
Yeah. Thank you. Are you able to see and hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. It was really emotional to see the video on Mrs. YGP. I think it was remarkably put together and really brought to life, I think, what she stood for and what she's developed PSBB into. But I would first like to start by thanking Mrs. Sheila Rajendran and Mrs. Vasanthi for inviting me here today to be a part of this prize distribution ceremony. Today's event for me is triply sweet. Firstly, of course, it's wonderful to come back to an institution where I spent my entire schooling life, all the way from LKG to 12th. In fact, I think I still hold the unique record for being the only student to repeat LKG. I think my parents believed in giving me a really solid foundation. Secondly, I'm of course deeply touched and honored to be giving away the Maths Prize instituted in my mother's name, Mrs. Bhagyalakshmi Kailasam, who worked as a maths teacher at PSBB for over 30 years and heartbreakingly passed away in October of 2020. So my dad always used to joke that as long as there is algebra, there will always be prayers in school. And I'm so happy to see that we started today's meeting with a prayer as well. Thirdly, I think in a wonderful, I think heartwarming gesture, at least personally for me, many of my batchmates from the 88 batch has instituted prizes for subjects that we believe are very important, but normally do not garner much attention. And I'm particularly referring to the languages of Tamil, Sanskrit, Hindi, and English. In fact, many of us, I remember when we were in 8th and 9th, we took up Sanskrit as a third language, especially in 9th and 10th. A couple of reasons. One, of course, it's three reasons actually. One, we were told that most of the Sanskrit paper you can actually write in English. So that was a huge relief. Second, it was generally considered a subject where marks were awarded rather generously. But I think most importantly, we had Mrs. Chandra Ramani, who could make the classes absolutely great fun. And it's so nice to see Mrs. Chandra Ramani here today as well. And I'm sure I'm not very sure whether my other teachers are still around, but I guess most of them would have retired by now. But in case they're around, I just want to offer my respect to all of you. I guess it is but natural, but hopefully excusable to look at some of the decades that I spent at PSBB. First and foremost, I think all you students out there, you guys should really respect your parents, because all of them passed out of school without Google or Wikipedia. And that says a lot. And now the Indian education system is often derided when compared to the West, accusing our system of fostering rote and memory over understanding. But I guess a lot of us, particularly the 88 batch, we were really lucky. I think firstly, we had the fountainhead, an inspiring leader in Mrs. YGP, who ensured that we not only received the finest academic inputs, but a wide exposure to all aspects of life. I mean, I still remember we were exposed to a concept called transcendental meditation in 4th standard. We were exposed to ISKCON in our 6th standard. We had Shakuntala Devi visiting us in TP Road when I was in 8th. And we had, I remember Mr. Parthasarathi from the Vedanta school in Pune visiting our school in 11th. And these are just some of the illuminaries and some of the exposure that I'm able to recall. And I'm sure there were many other experiences which left an impact, and I'm probably not able to recall some of them. And in fact, some of them were so influential, particularly the last one where Mr. Parthasarathi spoke to us about Bhagavad Gita in our 11th. The 3 of my batchmates joined the Vedanta program a few years after passing out of school. One of them still continues to serve at the Vedanta school, and 2 of them have gone on to become, spiritual leaders of their own right. On a personal note, I think I also want to acknowledge Mrs. YGP's relationship with my mother, whom she trained, shaped, and crowned her with the principalship of the main school. And I think more than anything else, I cannot forget how Mrs. YGP and the rest of the teachers and many ex-students as well went out of their way to lend both monetary as well as emotional support to my dad as well as myself during a medical crisis for my mother. And hence, I think for me personally, PSBB has been as much a family as a school. Secondly, I think we had a wonderful set of teachers. Even today and we have a WhatsApp group for our 88 batch, a lot of my friends reminisce about how their love for a particular subject was kindled by one teacher or the other. They were knowledgeable, passionate, and possessed great wit. I still remember my English teacher during a class when we were asked, "What would I like to become?" So, wanting to impress her, I wrote Secretary General of the United Nations. To which her wry comment was, "You will if you talk less in class." So I think it was just incredible, the kind of teachers we had, and I'm sure that legacy continues. And I think the teachers of today are just equally amazing and equally brilliant. And I'm sure that the whole legacy that Mrs. YTP started has kind of continued to live on and become even better as the years go by. Well, academics was just one part of it. And I think participation in inter-school culturals and sports, despite a modest playground those days, was actively encouraged. And I think that provided us a kind of wider and deeper perspective. But of course, there was like a bunch of us who were true followers of what Bernard Shaw said. I never allowed my years of schooling to interfere with my education. So there were many of us, of course, who I think spent more time outside of school in culturals and sports than within class. But I think that's part of the whole experience. We were also the first batch that had to write an entrance exam to move from 10th to 11th. And I think it came as a big shocker for the whole batch. But I think PSBB was a pioneer in this regard. And today, most premier schools in the country follow this procedure. But this, of course, was a bittersweet experience for me. I mean, I lost a lot of friends that I'd grown up with from LKG, but gained a whole new set of friends and people who joined our school from across the country. I think making our 11th and 12th experience almost surreal, right? I think first to 10th was kind of a close-knit, well-knit kind of a community. And 11th and 12th was this whole cosmopolitan influence that kind of came in, which is a completely new and a very different experience. But I think all these ingredients finally came together in shaping us into what we are today. And hence, I think it's no wonder that alums from PSBB are successful entrepreneurs. They're highly skilled professionals, doctors, lawyers, chartered accountants, and so on, renowned academicians. I'm an exception to that rule. Corporate doyens, and some of them even occupy senior positions in civil service. After having spent over 22 years in the corporate world with ITC Limited, I spent time across various businesses, including both personal care and foods, handling brands like Fiamma, Engage, Ashirwad, Sunfeast, EP, and Febel. I guess finally the genetic forces caught hold of me. My father was a professor of English as well, while my mother was a maths teacher. And I think somewhere that played a role, and about a little over 4 years ago, pushed me into the world of academia. So I now teach marketing and strategy to MBA students at PES University in Bangalore. And I guess in some sense, my life has come a full circle, right? I realize now that teaching is no easy job, and inspiring students is an art that doesn't come easily. And hence really take my hat off to all the wonderful teachers that I had the privilege of being taught by. But I guess I've also picked up a few tricks of the trade along the way. So in my class, difficult questions from students are often deflected, saying, I think the question is wrong, or I'll cover it in the next class. And of course, the absolute Brahmastra. All of you raised your hands who can answer this question, right? Yeah, so I think it's been a wonderful journey for me, and kind of in a sense feel so happy that I've kind of finally towards the later part of my career getting an opportunity to do something that I really enjoyed. I think teaching was something that always inspired me. It's something that stayed with me for a long period of time. I used to enjoy going to various campuses to deliver lectures and presentations, and I think I've just carried it forward into my life as well now. So my congratulations to all the students who are being awarded prizes today. Clearly a very just reward to all the hard work that you people have put in. Also wanting to wish, not sure whether the 10th standard students are here, but I also wanting to wish the very best to all the 10th standard students for the boards. My son is in 10th as well, and hence I know exactly what you guys must all be going through. To the 11th standard students, I think work hard, but don't forget to enjoy the last 2 years of school life. I know it's been difficult. I mean, I guess most of it has been online for you, but I think try to make the best of what you have, and hopefully, the COVID will kind of go by, and we should be getting back into offline classes soon. And this is where you'll make lifelong friends and build some wonderful shared experiences. I'm not sure if any of my batchmates have joined the session today. I sent out the link to many of them. In case you're there, big shout out and a hi to all of you. Thank you so much for being a part of this and for kind of being in today's session. Big shout out to all the parents too. I think these 3 years, 10th to 12th, are probably as stressful to you as it is to the students. But I guess in the end, I've realized that everything works out just fine, especially if you're from PSBB. So thank you so much for listening to me, and forgive me if I meandered too much in the past, but I guess that is what a PSBB experience can do to you. Thank you so much. Thank you once more to Mrs. Sheila Rajendran and Mrs. Basanti for calling me here. It's a privilege and a really emotional moment for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words and sharing your experiences with us. I'm sure our students are encouraged and motivated. I hope they now understand the importance of languages, understanding overload, rote learning, and the importance of holistic development. I also take this opportunity to welcome Shri R.S. Mani, alumni from the batch of 1988, and the heads of our PSBB group of schools.
R.S. Murli.
R.S. Murli.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, sir.
R.S. Murli.
Sorry, sir. Yes. We now proudly present the highlights of events, achievements of academic year 2020-2021 in 4 segments. Coming right up is the first segment, showcasing board exam results and awards. hearty congratulations to all the winners. Next up, we begin the most awaited part of the program, the prize distribution itself. I request Mrs. Girija Seshadri, our social science teacher, to read out the names of our achievers and the prizes won by them. Over to you, Mrs. Girija.
Thank you, Mrs. Sushmita. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. American speed skater Bonnie Blair once said, "Winning does not always mean being first. Winning means you are doing better than you have ever done before." Here are the students who have bettered themselves. Shrivats Gopal. First prize in general proficiency, Srimati Radha Narayanan Merit Scholarship instituted by Mr. N. Krishnakumar and Mr. N. Shivakumar for securing first rank in Standard 10. Vishwanathan Memorial Rolling Shield instituted by Bala Vishwanathan for securing first rank in Standard 10. Proficiency prize in math. Srimad Brihat Kuchambal Sambashivam Cash Award instituted by Mrs. Gomati Krishnamurthy for securing highest mark in math in Standard 10. Proficiency prize in English. Srimati Kamala Sundarajan Memorial Cash Prize instituted by Mrs. Hema Srinivasan for securing highest marks in English. Besides his achievement in academics, Shrivats is a true all-rounder indeed. He is an avid quizzer and winner of many awards, including the Tata Ion Intelligent, and has represented India and our school in the World School Forum. He receives Sri Ananta Ramakrishnan Memorial Cup and Scholarship instituted by Srimati Mallika Srinivasan for being the best all-rounder in Standard 10. Shreya Ramanathan Iyer. Second prize in general proficiency. Srimati Sulochana Rajagopalan Memorial Cash Prize instituted by Mrs. Anita Sri Balaji and Mr. Anand B. Rajagopalan for securing second rank in Standard 10. Srimati Radha Narayanan Merit Scholarship instituted by Mr. N. Shivakumar and Mr. N. Krishnakumar for securing second rank in Standard 10. Proficiency prize in math. Srimad Brihat Kuchambal Sambashivam Cash Award for securing highest mark in math in Standard 10. Proficiency prize in social science. Srimati Vatsala Pashupati Memorial Cup instituted by Mr. Pashupati for securing highest mark in social science in Standard 10. Shri S.S. Rajan Memorial Award instituted by Mr. Shivaswamy S. Rajan for excellence in Standard 10 social science. Srimati Charumati Natarajan Memorial Cash Prize instituted by Samas Engineering Corporation for securing the second best overall performance in Sanskrit in Standard 10. Shreya is a hardworking and meticulous and therefore has received so many accolades. Murari Shri Kumar 10A. Second prize in general proficiency. Srimati Radha Narayanan Merit Scholarship for securing second rank in Standard 10. Srimati Sulochana Rajagopalan Memorial Cash Prize for securing the second rank in Standard 10. Proficiency prize in math. Srimad Brihat Kuchambal Sambashivam Cash Award for securing highest mark in math in Standard 10. Proficiency prize in Tamil. Srimati Brihat Kuchambal Sambashivam Cash Award for securing highest mark in Tamil in Standard 10. Guru Dakshina Award for topper throughout the year in Tamil, instituted by the batch of 1988. This is the new award instituted by the class of 1988 as a tribute to the gurus at PSBB. This is awarded in all the languages, Tamil, Sanskrit, and Hindi. Proficiency prize in science. Srimati Ranjini Rajan Memorial Cash Prize instituted by Mr. Rajan for being topper in science in Standard 10. LRV Scholarship instituted by Mrs. Lalita V, Mrs. Radha S, and Mrs. Vasanthi S for second best overall performance in science in Standard 10. Dr. Mrs. K. Krishnaswamy Memorial Cash Award instituted by Mr. K. Shrikant for securing highest mark in science in Standard 10. Shri R.S. Mani Endowment Fund, instituted by Mr. R.S. Mani for being an all-rounder. Besides being an avid quizzer and an excellent orator and debater in Tamil, Murari never hesitates to help his fellow mates. He receives the Rolling Shield instituted by Balabhavan Educational Trust for Value of Values. Hearty congratulations, winners. I hand over the stage back to Mrs. Sushmita.
Thank you, Mrs. Girija. A hearty congratulations to all the students and best wishes for all your future endeavors. Now, let us take a look at the achievements of our students in various Olympiads, competitions, and other talent tests. Coming up is Highlights Segment 2. Congratulations, winners. I hope this encourages more students to participate and win more accolades for themselves and the school. May I now request Mrs. Mini Prem Kumar, our science teacher, to read out the names of the next set of prize winners. Over to you, Mrs. Mini.
Thank you, Mrs. Susmita. Continuing with the list of prize winners, the next in line, S. Narain from 10C. Proficiency prize in math, Srimati Brahat Kujambal Sambashivam Cash Award for securing highest mark in math in standard 10. LRV Scholarship for second best overall performance in math in Standard 10, Proficiency Prize in English, Srimati Kamala Sundarajan Memorial Cash Prize for securing highest mark in English, Guru Dakshina Award for being the topper in Sanskrit throughout the year in Standard 10. Other than his academic achievements, Naren is an outstanding percussionist who also excels in playing the keyboard, ganjira, etc., and has been a regular contributor to PSBB's official YouTube channel Vidya Shakti. Naren is also awarded Sri Nikhil Kamath Memorial Rolling Shield and Cash Award, instituted by his friends for being the best all-rounder in Standard 10. He also receives Rolling Shield instituted by Bharat Kalachar for talent in the field of percussion. Ashish Cherian Panikel, Proficiency Prize in Math, Srimati Damayanti Ramachandran Cash Award, instituted by Mr. V. Ramachandran for the best overall performance in math in Standard 10. Srimati Brahat Kujambal Sambashivam Cash Award for securing the highest mark in math in Standard 10. This year onwards, class of 1988 from PSBB Nungambakam have instituted an endowment prize in memory of our former principal and math teacher, Mrs. Bhagilakshmi Kailasam, for students who score the highest mark in mathematics throughout the year in Standard 10. Ashish is the first recipient of this endowment prize. We are greatly honored to have Mrs. Bhagilakshmi Kailasam's son, Mr. G.K. Suresh, as our esteemed chief guest amongst us today. Ashish also bags Proficiency Prize in Science. Dr. Mrs. K. Krishnaswamy Memorial Cash Award for
Sorry,
securing
ma'am,
highest.
can I just come in for a minute?
Sure.
Sorry, I just realized Ashish is also the son of one of my batchmates.
Oh,
Yeah, so I mean, she's also on the Zoom call right now. I just got a message from her. Her
okay.
name is Anim Cherian, and so that's it's I think a double delight. The first one is going to actually son of one of my own batchmates.
A wonderful coincidence.
Yeah.
Directly blessed by Mrs. Bhagya.
Yes. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good, great. Shall I continue, ma'am? Continuing with Ashish's Proficiency Prize in Science, Srimati Ranjini Rajan Memorial Cash Prize for being the topper in science in Standard 10. Proficiency Prize in Social Science. Srimati Vatsala Pashupati Memorial Cup for securing highest mark in Social Science in Standard 10. Shri S.S. Rajan Memorial Award for excelling in Standard 10 Social Science. An avid quizzer, Ashish has regularly contributed to all the episodes of Quizat, a weekly quiz series released by PSBB Nungambakam. He has qualified himself for the second level of National Talent Search Examination 2. Ashish receives Shri R.S. Money Endowment Fund for being an all-rounder in Standard 10. S. Ganapati from 10A. Proficiency Prize in Math. Srimati Brahat Kujambal Sambashivam Cash Award for securing highest mark in Math in Standard 10. Nivedita B. from 10A. Guru Dakshina Award for being the topper in Tamil throughout the year in Standard 10. Srinidhi D. from 10B. Proficiency Prize in English. Srimati Kamala Sundarajan Memorial Cash Prize for securing highest mark in English. S. Nithila from 10D. Proficiency Prize in Hindi. Srimati Lakshmi Rukmaji Rao Memorial Cash Prize instituted by Mr. Rukmaji Rao for securing highest mark in Hindi in Standard 10. Guru Dakshina Award for being the topper in Hindi throughout the year in Standard 10. Hearty congratulations to all the winners. Over to Mrs. Sushmita.
Thank you, Mrs. Mini, and well done, students. Now, Let us take a look at important events and celebrations and the next round of co-curricular achievements in Highlights Segment 3. Over to you, Mrs. Kokila. Hearty congratulations to all the winners. I now call upon Mrs. Shankari Shankar, our social science teacher, to read the names of the next set of prize winners. Mrs. Shankari.
Thank you, Mrs. Sushmita. Ralph Waldo Emerson has said, without ambition, one starts nothing. Without work, one finishes nothing. The prize will not be sent to you. You have to win it. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Continuing with the list of prize winners. Nidhi M. Jain, Proficiency Prize in Hindi. Srimati Lakshmi Rukmaji Rao, Memorial Cash Prize, instituted by Mr. Rukmaji Rao for securing highest mark in Hindi in Standard 10. Aditi Srivatsava, Proficiency Prize in Hindi. Srimati Lakshmi Rukmaji Rao, Memorial Cash Prize for securing highest mark in Hindi in Standard 10. Avardhana Anand Srinivasan, Proficiency Prize Proficiency Prize in Hindi, Srimati Lakshmi Rukmaji Rao Memorial Cash Prize, instituted by Mr. Rukmaji Rao for securing highest mark in Hindi in Standard 10. Avardhana Anand Srinivasan, Proficiency Prize in Sanskrit, Srimati Charumadi Nadrajan Memorial Cash Prize, instituted by Samas Engineering Corporation for securing first prize in Sanskrit in Standard 10. She also receives Guru Dakshina Award for topper throughout the year in Sanskrit in Standard 10. K. Bakishri, Guru Dakshina Award for topper throughout the year in Sanskrit in Standard 10. Our school not only recognizes meritorious students, but also encourages students in extracurricular activities to bring out their talent in the limelight and give its wings in the right direction. Nandita Kannan receives Sri Anantaramakrishnan Memorial Cup and scholarship instituted by Srimati Mallika Srinivasan for being the best all-rounder in Standard 10. She also shares Srimati Vatsala Pasupati Memorial Cup instituted by Mr. Pasupati for talent in music among juniors with V. Edushri. Special mention, Nandita has secured first prize in Malaysia International Competition in senior category in Manodharmam and Divine Classics. Yadushri has bagged 4 prizes and a trophy in the solo vocal competition held by Indian Fine Arts. Yadushri and Nandita both have won first prize in Aro, Indian Classical Solo Vocals, Sarang, organized by IIT Madras. Congratulations, Nandita and Yadushri. Vishwam Srinivasan and Shifa Kumar share Srimati Savitri Ganeshan Memorial Rolling Shield, instituted by Mr. GVS Mani for creative artistic talent among juniors. S. Ojas Krishnan, Sri P. Ganeshan Memorial Rolling Cup, instituted by Srimati Savitri Ganeshan for best behavior in Standard 10. Congratulations to all the winners. May I request the prize winners to turn on the camera for a virtual photograph with our chief guest, Mrs. Sheila Rajendra, Mr. YG Rajendra, heads of the school and the donors. I kindly request the others to turn off the camera for a few minutes.
Thank you. I have captured the moment.
Thank you, Mrs. Girija, and thank you, Mrs. Shankari. Congratulations, winners. I hope the current Standard 10 students are taking note. Remember, the destiny of hard work and consistency is always success. Mrs. Kokila, over to you now for the 4th and final segment of the highlights for academic year 2020-2021. Can we have a big round of applause for all the students of Standard 10 2020-2021 batch? Thank you. Bill Gates said, as we look to the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. It is my pleasure and honor to call upon our Dean and Director and correspondent, Mrs. Sheila Rajendra, who continuously empowers, motivates, and leads us with great poise to address the gathering. Ma'am, welcome.
Thank you. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Good evening to all of you. First of all, once again, a big thanks to Mr. G. K. Suresh, for accepting to be here this evening. And I'm sure it's amidst his very busy professional commitments that he still made it. And I'm sure all of you enjoyed listening to him. Just at the beginning, after that, those wonderful motivational slides, and then with a divine note, and with a very emotional ode to our own founder, Dr. Mrs. YGP, Mrs. Basanti's very warm welcome, and Mr. Suresh, our chief guest, inspirational speech and recollecting his moments with his school days. And also the wonderful presentation that the teachers and students have put together. It was just a, if I may say so, a snapshot and a tip of the iceberg of what's gone on the last year and so far. All I want to say is a big congratulations to all the 10th standard students of 2021, and a big round of applause to all the achievers, to the prize winners. The prize distribution event is a time to celebrate all the hard work that has led to this wonderful occasion. And may this recognition be of many more to come, and for wonderful years of happiness and success for each one of you. Graduating from 10th and now into the 11th, it must be quite different. Most of you in the same school, of course, many of you. But yet, academically, it must be slightly more challenging, not enough that we have been having virtual school, and that itself has been a big challenge. But in terms of academic difficulty levels of academics, the standard, the quantum jump, and I'm sure you've realized that having gone through up to 10th. And I'm sure with the same dedication, hard work, and the focus, you will continue to achieve and continue to do well in these 2 years of your schooling, and make it a cakewalk for yourselves when you're graduating from the 12th. I'm sure you were able to do this, of course, with your teachers helping you out, facilitating, guiding you, and more importantly, alongside your parents who have been of great support and encouragement to you. So the congratulations will have to be shared while it is your achievement, and absolutely to each one of you. I'm sure you will share your gratitude with your friends, with your parents, and of course to your teachers who have also put in a lot of effort in the past years and especially in the last year of your standard 10, especially when it's been virtual and completely different mode of examination. And I would like to, when Mr. Suresh was mentioning about his strong foundation, having repeated his LKG, I must share with you, while I didn't, but I made my daughter repeat her UKG in PSBB. And it looks like there's something about teachers and their children where they think that they can go a little slow and have yes, as you said, strong, perhaps strong foundation, but more importantly, enjoy one more year of that wonderful class and no regrets. I'm sure you won't have any regrets too, but just wanted to share that. And very few who think that it's okay to go, to school 1 year later, and having started school young, to even have the courage to repeat. And so I just wanted to share this when you mentioned about your experience of having repeated LKG. I would like to thank Mr. Suresh for instituting and also enhancing the already existing prize that Mrs. Bhagyalakshmi Kailashan, our former dear principal, had instituted. And Mr. Suresh has been generous to increase that amount and also institute one for standard 10 topper in math throughout the year. In fact, being a topper throughout the year. And to the batch of 1988 for instituting special prizes for languages.
Ma'am, can I come in for a minute?
Sure, sure.
Sorry to, so I just want to introduce one of my batchmates who's on the call, Shrikant Krishnamurthy. We used to call him C2, and he's the driving force behind instituting the 88 batch.
Yes, he's been in touch
Scholarship.
with us.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Shrikant. I know we made it a little difficult, especially when we were all discussing over remote. And so it took some time for us to kind of, but thank you so much for being a very generous batch and giving it back to your alma mater and the students who were motivated to achieve, and also recognizing their hard work and
maybe the binding is stronger because I also did 15 years with GK and PSB. One of the few, the two who did 15 years together in PSBB right from LKG. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, teachers.
Thank you so much. And you'll be happy to know, batch of 1988, since you've instituted prizes where normally, there are very few prizes for the languages. And for the exact same reason that children should develop love for languages and not treat it, not give it a stepmotherly treatment. Or for the same reason, we also have started for the past few years a Lit Fest for the middle school. So PSBB Inter-School Lit Fest and events in Sanskrit, in Tamil, Hindi, and of course English. So we are happy that you are here to further recognize achievers in languages in the class of 10, standard 10.
Thank you.
I remember very, very fondly, I was a novice in school then, and the wonderful lady, Mrs. Bhagyalakshmi Kailasam, was a very, very lovely smile and a very childlike disposition, and a wonderful human being, and a very confident math head. And I remember I've learned so much from her and all the other heads, And while you were giving credit to Mrs. YGP, yes, for sure, we cannot forget her passion for her children. But every leader, I'm sure, is also blessed with a wonderful team. And it was like a family. Mrs. Bhagyalakshmi Kailasam, Mrs. Vijayalakshmi, and Ms. K.S. Vijayalakshmi ma'am, and Mrs. Pushpa Balajagam, who still, gives us inputs, and who still thinks of school and thinks of, it was a wonderful family that I saw in early 80s and, and till now. And I'm so happy and proud, in fact, that I have been groomed by such stalwarts, and the entire team here, the group of schools, the heads of the group of schools, the teachers. Here I must say, usually I always say we, and it's still we, but here I will have to emphasize how proud I am that we have such wonderful team, and I have such a wonderful team, and we're all like continue to be that one family culture that was established by Mrs. YGP, and it's been wonderful to be part of this, and to keep the PSBB reputation, goodwill, and the flag flying high. And it's thanks to all of you. And if you notice, our Diamond Jubilee logo is one that depicts also the motto that we had coined, rededicating our glorious past to a radiant future. It is that dedication to that, the past glorious teachers, glorious heads of schools, and the glorious past students that we rededicate ourselves and continue to strive to achieve a very, very similar glorious future. And with your blessings, with your cooperation, with your involvement, more and more alumni involving themselves with the school, coming into the school, giving these students your lectures in your expertise in your own expert fields. I think it's one of the objectives and one of the things that we wanted to do, and we've been trying to do that, is bring back all our alumni, know your alumni, the Hall of Fame, as it would be known as, and because students need to be inspired by their own seniors, by their own members of the school. And so glad to have you. It's an honor to have all the alumni and alumnus as a chief guest. Even now, generations now remember R.S. Murli, Mr. R.S. Murli and Bharathiya Reddy. So, and though Sushmita mentioned Mr. Mani, R.S. Mani, yes, Muthu, and a gem, Manida. Thank you for being here, Mr. Murli, and to some of the 1988 representatives.
1 second, Sheila. See, incidentally, you don't know me, I know you, GK, because you know what, I have carried you, man, when you are a kid. I have the unique this thing of being students of your dad, your mom, and your chiti, Pushpa.
Oh my God. So as a family, we have tortured you.
Absolutely. In Jain College, Appa used to teach English. And Amma, of course, in the initial days, Pushpa, when she was here, she was a science teacher, she'll know me. All of them know me by name, of course.
So nice. So nice.
So I belong to 75 batch. Okay. So I remember the time you were joining the school. So I used to, we used to have one tuck shop in the front. You used to sit there and I used to take care of you until Amma comes. So anyway, those were the days. Nice catching up. It's a family, as she rightly said, it's a family get together. and so nice, so nice.
Thank you so much for taking care of me.
And you continue to be chubby.
Carrying me would have been a big task, but thanks for doing that as well.
Yeah. Adan Chona, you continue to be chubby. That's good.
Thank you so much.
To the students here, this is the camaraderie, and this is that relationship and the rapport and that oneness the PSBB has been having over decades. And we hope that you as standard 10 into 11 students, and then when you graduate some years later, you should be back with the same spirit of oneness and togetherness. All the best. Once again, congratulations. And a very, very big thank you to all the teachers, to all the heads of schools, and to all the parents. I think so many of you from corporates and from academy, I'm sure, I mentioned, I've been so proud. Each time I get goosebumps when presentations are done. I think we must give it to the students and the teachers, the literally beating the corporate presentations hollow, I must say, and making it very interesting. There's so much that has taken place during the years, and especially the last year, but that's only so much we could portray there. And thank you for your patience and being here and encouraging all of us.
Thank you.
And stay healthy.
Thank you so much. And thank you to all the teachers.
And Mrs. Chanda Ramani, as usual, is here, very prominent as always. And Mr. Suresh, the fun that you've had in Chanda Ramani's class, I think students continue to have. What they've learned on a lighter vein, Mrs. Chanda Ramani, don't get me wrong, but certainly they've enjoyed your presence in the class for whatever reasons.
Absolutely.
And she's still going strong.
She was also our leader for all the cultural activities and everything. So she used to accompany us to all the other schools and all the other cultural activities. So amazing person.
I think she enjoyed life as much as the students did. And just like students would be wanting to be outside the class, I think Mrs. Chanda Ramani enjoyed being outside the class and taking care of all the co-curricular, extracurricular.
No. If I can add an anecdote, the only day I realized in my life that something was very serious was when I saw Mr. Chandra Ramani cry. We were on the Duke of Edinburgh Award scheme to Salem. We landed from the train, and the Salem station was almost in flames because Purachi Thalaivar MGR had
MGR.
So we managed to come back to Chennai by the same train with the help of the railways. Mrs. Muthulakshmi, Chandra Ramani, managing 30-40 students, including ladies, no food. Someone's brother managed to track the train, take us in an ambulance to the Madras Medical Hospital, the hostel for the night. Next year, we were all returned home by the ambulances.
Ambulance.
That was the day I realized.
That was Sundar Raman.
Come again?
Sundar Raman was an eye doctor.
Yeah.
And Rajan Opticals avaloda pillamo.
See, so Mrs. Chandra Ramani's presence within the class and outside the class was always an inspiration for us students. I think she continues to be a pillar of support for the school and its activities. She alone has the right for her entire batch. Day enada solren. And the adhikaram Mr. Chandra Ramani kitta dhaan irukku. Apart from the other teachers who taught us, who command. That is what we learned in the school, and that is what we will like to take home as fond memories. Apart from the 5-finger exercise of Mrs. YGP, it goes halar like this.
Have you tasted my left hand?
Absolutely. And Mrs. Chanda Ramani still continues to be absolutely spirited and always joyous. And you can see her all the time smiling and happy. Yes, her here and there you mentioned about the crying, and that is her. Thank you all. Thank you for being here and honoring this event.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Mr. Suresh, Mr. Shrikant, the presenting batch of 1988. I remember all the conversations we had regarding this prize. And a very special thanks to Mrs. Chandra Ramani from my end. She's always been the bridge between us and the alumni. So anybody whom I want to contact, I contact Chandra. That's the easiest route for me. Get someone, catch hold of someone, get in touch with so-and-so. It's the easiest. So she's a huge asset to our school. She continues to remain one. Thank you, Mrs. Chandra, for bringing in Mr. Suresh also today. And
that is because of
really
Mrs.
enjoyed the
YGP.
speech.
Vasanthi
And,
ma'am, that is because of Mrs. YGP.
Yeah, we need a person like that, no, because otherwise I mean, not that I'm so young, but still we belong to another, where we shouldn't be cut off from that previous generation of such illustrious and accomplished alumni. So she's a really good bridge, connect in that way. So thank you, Mrs. Chandra, especially for that. Mr. Suresh, I fondly remember your mother. She was the vice principal when I joined, and she became the principal later on. I always tell my colleagues, she was not like me. She was the most gentle and kindest principal one could ever see. From my experience, she was so kind and so gentle. I remember speaking to her a few days before she passed away also. And like Mrs. Sheila said, I've learned so much from her. So much from her. She used to teach not only her students patiently, but also the teachers and all her colleagues. So she was very patient with everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. This is just a request to the prize winners once again. Unfortunately, some of you didn't have your videos on. So my request, the prize winners of 10A and 10D, Delhi, to please have the videos on. And may I also request Mrs. Sheila, the heads of PSBB schools, everyone, the donors, and the batch of 1988 students to please have the videos on for one more capture of this great moment. Thank you. And may I request the others to kindly switch off their videos so that we can get all these people in one screen. Thank you. May I now request 10B and 10C students, please, to have your videos on. This is, I'm talking about, I'm sure you understand, last year's 10B, 10C. Now you're all in different sections. Girija, done?
1 minute, ma'am, just 1 minute. The second one I would like to take that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Sushmita, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I thank Mrs. Sheila Rajendra for her inspiring words. I'm sure our students will remember your words of advice, ma'am. And I bet everybody here, parents, teachers, students, alumni, everybody is happy that they belong to this close-knit PSBB group. It's a family. I can see that that emotion is coming through, that it's a close-knit family. Thank you, ma'am. This event was possible due to the contributions and efforts of many. I now call upon our beloved and respected Assistant Vice Principal, Mrs. Asha Pillai, to render the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Sushmita. It's an honor to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the school. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, good afternoon to all. I humbly seek the blessings of the Almighty and the divine grace of Dr. Mrs. YGP for this joyous occasion of felicitating the students who have achieved excellent results, especially during the pandemic year. Our sincere thanks to our chief guest, Mr. G.K. Suresh, for being here with us today and sharing his experiences and inspiring the young minds. I'm sure our students are greatly motivated by your words of wisdom, sir. Integrity, insight, and inclusiveness are the three essential qualities of leadership. Heartfelt gratitude to our leaders, the Dean and Director and Correspondent, Mrs. Sheila Rajendra, and the Executive Trustee, Mr. Y.G. Rajendra, who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Determination is only available to those who have the attitude of never giving up. Sincere thanks to our principal, Mrs. Vasanthi, who believes that determination is the key to success in anything. My sincere thanks to all the trustees and donors for their benevolence and encouragement. I convey this on behalf of all the students. Thank you so much for your kindness and commitment to the school. Heartfelt thanks to the PTA for the support and their time in getting us through the challenges of the last academic year. We are extremely grateful to the heads of school and the special invitees who have joined us today despite their busy schedule. I would like to thank all the students who made this event joyful with their achievements. We are extremely proud of your incredible performance. Your days of hard work was evident in your result. Congratulations, prize winners, and wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. Thank you, dear parents, for the efforts to support your child's progress and the work of the school. Our continued partnership will ensure that our students continue to learn, progress, and reach their potential holistically. I'm sure the batch of class 10 students who will be appearing for the board exam this year are excited and inspired by what they saw. Wishing you the very best for the forthcoming exams and see you the next year for the same event in appreciation of your results. With a deep sense of appreciation, we thank our loving teachers for their untiring efforts and valuable contribution in steering the efforts of the students. I would like to thank the team who worked behind the scene to make this event possible. Thank you all once again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Asha. With that, we come to the end of today's event. This is Sushmita, science teacher and your compere for the day, signing off. Have a good evening, everybody. Vande Matram. Jai Hind.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Extremely well presented. Enjoyed being back at school. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is Girija, you can stop the recording. Can you stop?